Hello, welcome to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Sprocket, West Kentucky, and KY Innovation. Welcome back to episode 256. As it is a even number episode, we're doing news of the last few weeks and looking at what can we learn from what's going on in the world around us that we can use to help make our organizations, our families, ourselves a little more safe in this crazy world that we live in. So let's just go ahead and dive into the news and take a look at a few things. First, you know, I can't say I told you so because everybody knows that this time of the year there are more fake shopping sites than normal. They're always around, but as we talked about over the last few weeks, um, the bad guys know that we're looking to shop on Black Friday and we're shopping on Cyber Monday, and we're going to continue shopping over the next few weeks. Well, this first article is cybersecurity firms CloudSeek found over 2,000 fake shopping websites before Cyber Monday. Over 2,000. That's just what they found. How many are really out there? You hear me say, slow down, take your time, make sure that what we're doing is legitimate. And I will continue to tell you that because there are a lot of bad guys out there. This article actually goes into detail about how they were masquerading or impersonating Amazon and some of these websites that we're used to going to. So you have to be really careful. You have to know the right URL that we're going to. It's Amazon.com. It's not Amazon.shop. And making sure that it's an O and not a zero. And just all these little things that these bad guys can do to really trick us into doing something that's a problem. So anyway, that's the first story I want to talk about today because I find that really interesting, particularly in the time that we are in. Second, Elon Musk urges global focus on truth as AI hallucinations raise safety fears. This is something that we've talked about in a variety of ways over the months. So, first of all, hallucination is when generative AI starts creating something that is not true, that it start producing false information. So, a few months ago, it might have even been 7 or 8 months ago, there was a large consulting firm that had written a report using AI for the Australian government. And what happened was, first of all, they didn't have time to write it, so they just used generative AI to write it. And it started hallucinating. It started producing hallucinations, meaning false information because it had gaps and it would fill in the gaps with whatever it can make up. And it actually ended up being incorrect, and they lost a lawsuit, and they're going to have to pay the Australian government several million or several $100,000 over that. The goal of AI, period, is to please you. It is to make you happy, meaning you're asking it to do something. Its goal is to do that thing for you, therefore making you happy. So if I asked AI to write something and it doesn't have the information, then it's going to make it up. It's going to try to guess what the right information would be. Now, sometimes it's correct, sometimes it is not. The challenge is it sounds so convincing that if we're not doing our due diligence, then we won't know whether it is true or not. Taking that a step further is that AI models are built on the data that they're provided. So if the models that we're building are based on, let's say, the entire internet, how much of the entire internet is false information? So it's hallucinating not from the encyclopedia that is true. And yes, that just dated myself. I get that. but it's hallucinating from information that's false. So those hallucinations could be very destructive, and that's what Elon Musk is warning about here. It's interesting. What do we do about that? I don't have the great answer other than we have to be cautious, we have to be careful, we have to make sure that what we're doing is very careful, and that we're being very careful um, to follow along. All right, let me go to the next one. This is one I just think it's worth note. I don't know if it'll pass or not, but several states have started passing law, including Kentucky, that requires some level of age verification. Now, there's different ways that can happen. The primary way that we see that in Kentucky is if you log into a website, or go to a website that is providing um, adult content, then you have to verify that you are the age that you say that you are, or that you're an appropriate age to view that material. How you do that can vary. Sometimes you have to provide a license. Sometimes you have to provide information that would verify who you are. There is talk of a national age verification bill. Um, Now, will it pass? Who knows? Um, I'm typically kind of pessimistic that anything passes Congress, but they are putting something. They're looking at putting something together. In this case, what the law would do is to push um, the app stores where you're downloading apps to verify age before you can download material or an app that would be intended for an adult individual. So anyway, we'll see if it goes anywhere. It's being pushed by a Republican senator, Republican House member, but it's called the App Store Accountability Act, um, and that is kind of part of this overall kid safety legislation that has been introduced. So we'll see what happens with that. It's worth following because I think it's a good idea in a way that we can help protect our kids, and that's something that we certainly need to do. All right, so this next one, we'll see how long I talk about it. So you'll remember um, a few months ago there was a break-in of at the Louvre in Paris. Uh, it resulted in the theft, as the article says, of the crown jewels valued at $102 million. So all of that is I don't know. The story is hard to believe, and it really is. I just can't believe that it happened. I mean, it was like a movie, and the way that it happened, you almost wouldn't believe it was real if it were in a movie, but it happened. The reason I bring this up is that they're going to use what's the equivalent of $66 million to improve, it says, to renovate the museum's safety and security infrastructure with new software systems, network equipment, and safety technologies. This is the problem. This is first, yes, absolutely. $66 million to renovate their security. Absolutely, they should do it. But here's the problem. This is what bothers me in security in general, and the reason that I bring this up. It's not that they're doing it that I have a problem with, because we should all seek to improve our security. The problem is that it took losing $100 million worth of crown jewels for it to be a priority. There are so many organizations that get hit with cyber attacks, ransomware attacks, data breaches, and that is what causes us to want to use and invest in security. How much better off would we be if we could be proactive and actually invest in security before we're responding to a security incident? That's my issue with it. It's not, I mean, it's not that they're doing it, it's that what it took for them to get to the point of being willing to do it. All right. Well, that's it, and I'll end with that because security should be a priority as we are wrapping up the year, and kind of already looking ahead to what 2026 might have in store for us. Setting it as a priority now for the new year will help us stay safe in the new year. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you very much for the time today. Thank you for joining in, and I'll see you next week back here on 10 at 10. Thank you. Bye.